الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نستعينه ونستغفره، أحمده واستحفظه وأؤمن به جل وألا ولا أكفره، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا هو الذي أرسل بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على دين كله ولو كره المشركون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا واتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق من زوجها وبثها منهم رجالا كثيرا والنساء واتقوا الله الذي تصلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. That is, all praises are due to Allah, the cherisher, the sustainer, the guardian, evolver of all the worlds. We believe in Him and do not disbelieve in Him. We openly testify and bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the seal of the Anbiya, he is the seal of the Rasuls. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal for His choicest blessings forever to be upon our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah Azza wa Jal says in His Quran, O you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except in the state of Islam. O you who believe, again, fear Allah as He should be feared. This is a profound statement, dear beloved Muslims. Fear Allah as He should be feared, and always speak a word to the right, so that Allah Ta'ala can direct us to righteous deeds and forgive us our sins. And remember, whoever does this has achieved the highest achievement from Allah Azza wa Jalla. My respected brothers, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, if you do not have to lean on anything, I would ask you to fill the first row, inshallah ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ said there's blessings on the front row. Dear beloved Muslims, for the last couple of weeks, we have been trying to get this concept across of Dar Islam. You know, the first day I did it, a brother came up to me and he said, you're dealing with a dangerous stuff, because I said Dar Islam, Dar Khuf, and Dar Harb. You know, so, you know, in the Western society, if you talk about Dar Harb and Dar Khuf, that's who. Yeah, Muslims trying to go to war. So no, we're not trying to do that. So I want to, before I go any further, I want to try to explain in detail, well not in detail, but I'll give you a little better explanation of what Dar Islam and what I'm speaking about Dar Islam is. According to the Sharia, or the laws of Allah Ta'ala, Dar Islam is defined as the land, in this particular context, the land which is governed by the laws of Islam, and whose security is maintained by the security of Islam, by the authority of those who are in charge, protection of the Muslims inside and outside the land, even if the majority of the inhabitants are non-Muslims. So in other words, if we own the state of California, and the majority of the inhabitants or the people that lived in California was non-Muslims, but California's constitution is based on the Sharia of Allah Ta'ala, then that means that those people and us will be governed by the Quran and Sunnah, so that would make California a state of Dar Islam. Okay? Now, what we did, or what we was trying to come across with, is that before you can even get to a mental state that we want to produce a land of Dar Islam, what we have done in reverse, we have established or tried to establish Dar Islam in the masjid without establishing Dar Islam in our homes or within our hearts. So that's what we're dealing with. So when you say Dar, you're speaking about an area. So if you want to even break it down a little further, you can say your house is Baytul Islam. Bayt is house, so it is on the principle of Islam. Just like this house is Masjid Ibrahim, but it's also can be called Baytul Ibrahim. It can be Baytul Allah Ibrahim. All would be correct. Dar Khuf or Kufr is just the opposite of Dar Islam. Khuf in this particular sense means disbelief. So now if we're speaking about the lands, this is why we said very quickly that the station of individuals cannot be determined by where they come from. Just because you was born in Egypt, or you was born in Pakistan, or you was born in Afghanistan, or you was born in Kashmir, or what have you, unless those governmental countries have a constitution that is based on Sharia, Quran and Sunnah, or Quran, Sharia of Allah Ta'ala, and Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that is not constituted as an Islamic state. All you have is an Islamic environment with the majority of the inhabitants being Muslim. That does not make an Islamic state. Okay? So, now, what is this Dar Islam of the heart? Dar Islam of the heart has to be, according to Quran, for those believers that uphold the Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ more than anything in their life. This establishes Dar Islam in the heart. So now, that means in order to have a Dar Islam atmosphere, or an Islamic, let me just put it Islamic atmosphere, that means that everything that we do has to be in accordance with Allah. Now, so the first thing to establish this is Salah. This is the very first thing that we have to establish. Because the first thing that we did, either being born Muslim or coming to Islam, we said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So we proclaim that in all adherence, in all equivocations, that Allah Ta'ala is God, He has no associates, and that the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is His seal of the messengers. So that's the establishment. That is the first foundation of Dar Islam. Now, the second thing that Allah Ta'ala speaks about in the catechism or in the categories of belief is Salah. This thing of Salah, it almost comes to a point where it is ritualistic without substance. For an example, the Prophet ﷺ clearly said that if it wasn't for the men and the women, the women and the children in the house, that he would burn the houses down for the men not coming to the masjid for Fajr and the Isha Salat. Correct? Every one of us know that's hadith. How much does that motivate us to come to the masjid? If that hadith does not motivate you, and I'm talking to the brothers now, motivate us to come to the masjid. Some days we may miss Fajr, MashaAllah. Some days we may miss Isha, MashaAllah. But the intent is there. The intent is no different than the Prophet ﷺ saying to us that if you are an adult Muslim, male or female, that you should have the intentions of making Hajj every year, whether you get there or not. Because that's an obligation on us. Okay? At least once in our lifetime. So the intention of Salat is bypassed because it's a commandment. We not only have to have intentions to make a purified Salat, we have to make the Salat. So think about this. If the Prophet, the Holy Last Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that he would burn the houses down, this is not figuratively, this is literally. You know why? Because and this is during the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this tells you the mentality of mankind. That he would burn the houses down for the men not coming to Salat, that tells you that's very serious. Second thing, why did he say the women and children at home? Sisters, you have to understand that your first priority is your bait, your house. Your Salat is worth more to you in your house than it is in the masjid. That does not say, and I don't want y'all running out of here, oh, the Imam said you don't want the sisters in the masjid. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you can't come out and be all active on a job, or be all active in the masjid, or be all active in non-Muslim activities. Because we are quick to put our children in non-Muslim activities before we would put them in Muslim activities. We'll find a baseball team and a football team very quickly before we find anything in the masjid, and then turn around and say the masjid ain't doing nothing. But anytime that there's something to do in the masjid, everybody scatters, or nobody wants to take the responsibility. I'm talking to brothers and sisters now. But sisters, specifically towards you, your Salat is worth more in the house. That's not saying the Prophet, because Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, telling us as men, do not deny your women access to the masjid. So we are not saying that. But we are saying you can't come out unless your house is in order, unless your children are in order. And that means, brothers, that you have to provide the houses and the things for your wives to get it in order. You can't come home and complain and it's not in order when you haven't provided her with the sustenance to give it. Get it in order. This is the establishment of Dar Islam in the heart. Now, I want to deal with something. Remember that this is the topic. This is a conversation. I have to try to finish this conversation. I'm not going to finish it today, but we're going to get through this, inshallah ta'ala. This is a conversation between the Holy Last Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it was a question and answer type thing where Iblis was ordered to go to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and have this conversation with Allah, with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is a part where Shaitan is speaking back to the Prophet. How wrong are you? Where is the facility of your community? While I live and die, not until the appointed day. So in other words, Iblis said, he's speaking to the Prophet ﷺ about the condition of his ummah. How can you be pleased with your community while I enter them through the bloodstream and the flesh, and they recognize me not? By he who created me and granted me respite until the day when they are all called forth, I should tempt them all, ignorant and learned, illiterate and literate, blasphemer and worshiper, except for the sincerely devoted worshippers of Allah. And who, according to you, are the sincerely devoted ones? This is the Prophet ﷺ asking Iblis. So now he gets arrogant. He said, do you not know Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said that he who cherishes the dirham and the dinar, money, is not sincerely devoted to Allah Ta'ala. He's already telling us, if you have more desire towards dunya and being seen, you cannot be devotedly, sincerely towards Allah Ta'ala. In other words, in the scriptures before this, it is reported that the Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam said, give unto Allah what is Allah, and give up to Caesar what is Caesar. In other words, the two don't hold the same balance. They don't hold the same balance. One has to be higher than the other. So, Iblis goes on to say, when I see a man who loves neither dirham or dinar, nor flattery or praise, I know that he is sincerely devoted to Allah Ta'ala. But as long as the worshiper cherishes wealth, flattery, and in his heart is preoccupied with worldly desires, he will be more submissive than I could possibly describe to you. Do you not know that the love of wealth is one of the most hideous sins of all? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that the lust for power is one of the most hideous sins of all. And that the pride is one of the most hideous sins of all. Do you not know, O Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that I have 70,000 sons, each of whom has 70,000 devils along with them. Among these are those I assign to the learned men, those I assign to young men, those I assign to old men, those I assign to old women, and as for the young men, there is no disagreement between us and them. And as for the boys, the devils play with them as they choose. Those I assign to worship, and those I assign aesthetics, electronics, things that get our children attention. If you think about it, I'm going to stop right there real quick. If you really think about it, if you really look at society in most movies now, right? I don't have my phone on you, but I know most of y'all do. We walk around like this all day long. You can see people almost getting hit by a car. That's aesthetics. That means that that's abstract things that have our attention. Book face, Snapchat, book chat, whatever. It got more of our attention than the Quran. This is what Shaitan is talking about. They enter among them and drive them out from the station to station and gate to gate until they beguile them with one means or another. They deprive them of sincerity. So they worship Allah Ta'ala insincerely and they don't even realize it. Do you not know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the monks devoted 70 years, there was a monk that devoted 70 years of sincere worship to Allah Ta'ala, to the point that he can cure people by his du'as if they was ill. He said, listen to this. Shaitan is telling Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I am so stubborn that I did not abandon him. This man that worshipped Allah Ta'ala for 70 years to the point that his du'as can cure somebody that was ill if they came to him. He said, I did not abandon him until he committed fornication. Subhanallah bihamdi. This is who we are dealing with. Shaitan goes on to say, oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you not know that I did not even give up on your mother and father until they listened to me? And I told them that I was their sincere advisor. Dear beloved Muslims, in order for us to establish the concept of Dar al-Islam, this is why the Muslims are being taken out. See, because we can no longer think on a big level because we haven't established the little level. And the little level is establishing Dar al-Islam or Islam within the heart. True Iman within the heart. That then registers in the brain. That then registers in our limbs. That way it is a professed and a practiced belief. Now I should say that. It is a living belief. Because the Quran is ever living. Because Allah Ta'ala says He is ever living. So this is the avenue that we are all trying to get to. But dear beloved Muslims, I remind myself as I remind you, Shaitan is right here. He's here now, trying to sneak up on somebody, because when we stand for Salah, one or all of us, mind is going to drift on dunya. May Allah Ta'ala forgive us all our shortcomings and our sins, have mercy on our souls in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah Ta'ala increase our Iman. May Allah Ta'ala increase the Iman of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah Ta'ala forgive the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah Ta'ala protect the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah Ta'ala truly save us from the torment of the grave and the punishment of the fire. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله وعليكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك اللهم سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Dear beloved Muslims, my respected elders, brothers, sisters, believers, and guests, we want to conclude, and I'm reminding myself as I remind you all, because this Islam, we can all bear witness that Islam is being attacked more so by us than it is being attacked by anybody else. People can't attack you unless they see a weakness within you. That I don't care what you're into, I don't care what you're doing. People cannot attack you unless they see a weakness or a vulnerability in you. That's why a pimp could be a pimp and a woman can be a prostitute. Each one have to depend on the other to be vulnerable. It's just the nature of things. I ain't make it up. So listen, last week, and this is something that we want to finish because this is very important. I haven't even, the conversation between the Prophet ﷺ and Iblis, I haven't even scratched the surface. It's very long. The discourse is very long. But each week we'll give a little bit more because we need to get more and more into this subject. But I want to remind you of something that I said last week, and I want to continue with this. It is reported by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that I curse only 3 types of people. Those people who do not look after their parents when they are old, those people who do not take full advantage of the blessed month of Ramadan, and those people who do not say sallallahu alaihi wasallam when my name is mentioned. Dear beloved brothers and sisters, I cannot emphasize this enough. When Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam's name is mentioned, this is not a time for us to be silent. Even if you mumble it, it should be heard. It should be verbally heard. This is a commandment. This is why on the second part, I always say, Inna Allah wa malaikatuhu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. This is a commandment. This is from Quran. But this also states our mind frame of Dar al-Islam. This also also signifies how much of this Quran or how much of the love of the Holy Last Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam we truly have. Because if you really feel that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a blessing to humanity, you would say peace and blessings of Allah be upon him for this time and for all time. You would say it. Sorry, but we not worshiping him. We bear witness that Allah Ta'ala sent him as a mercy to all of humanity. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam goes on to say, a woman who reveals her body, wears tight-fitting clothes and flirts with men other than her husband, won't even have the access to the fragrance of Jannah. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, an intelligent person who is constantly thinking about and preparing for death. He said this is an intelligent person. One who is constantly thinking about and preparing for death. How many of us in here got wills and we know that that's a commandment of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How many of us right now, if we walk out here and get hit by a truck that we married, that our wife know not only our account number, but our PIN number and where we keep stuff at? Funny how we believe what the newspaper says, but one questions what the Quran says. Funny how someone say, I believe in Allah, but still follow Shaitan. And by the way, Shaitan believes in Allah Ta'ala. Funny how the lewd, crude, vulgar, and obscene pass freely through cyberspace, but public discussion of Allah is suppressed. Funny how when you go forward, thank you, God. That how when you go forward, this message, you will not send it, or you will not give it, or you will not repeat it. How can it be that we are more worried about what other people say about us than what Allah Ta'ala thinks about us? How is that possible? So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to cure all of this, Surah Al-Fatiha protects one from anger. Surah Yasin protects one from the thirst of the day of judgment. Surah Waqiyah protects one from poverty and starvation. Surah Mulk protects one from the punishment of the grave. Surah Kawthar protects one from the enmity of your enemy against you. Surah Kafirun protects one from kufr or disbelief at the time of death. Surah Ikhlas protects one from hypocrisy. Surah Falaq protects one from the calamities. And Surah Al-Nas protects one from the evil thoughts. Listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just quoted 9 surahs that the Prophet ﷺ says that they are a shifa. They are a healing form of some type of mental disturbance in us. But none of us think of the Quran as a shifa. We say it, but we don't think it. Because within the Quran, there are mamalas, there's ayats. Why do you think that you say ayatul or supposed to say ayatul kursi after every fard salah? It's a protection. But see, dear beloved Muslims, I'm talking